Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back. Did you miss me? I was about to say gobble gobble, but happy holidays, everyone. Let's get into this mess, y'all. The streets are talking, and guess what? Diddy may be facing RICO charges, and baby, we gotta talk about it because, ooh, this fool really thought he got away with something. But if these streets that are talking are true. And baby, these streets are coming from New York City, okay? District Attorney, New York State Attorney General, and of course, the Special Investigative Unit of the U.S. Attorney's Office. These are the same people that took down El Chapo. These are the same people that took down the Epilator. Just saying Maxwell, the same people that took down who else? Throw somebody else's name on the list. Let me just say, baby, they took down Trump. Remember when he got sued back? These people are no joke. They took down Harvey Weinstein. They have their eyes set on Diddy. Y'all, the streets are talking. Diddy is desperate to settle with his accusers, okay? However, seems to, and we got to talk about also what is going on with Diddy and his nanny really quick before we get into the RICO stuff, because it has to do with the RICO Black Mafia family. But I was on my Nancy do what it do mess. I did a little investigating, and y'all, I think there's actually something real behind it. I'm gonna get into that. But first of all, can we talk about Diddy and his nanny? If you guys don't know, Diddy got sued by his nanny a year ago or 2 years ago for unfair firing. At the time, I'm not even gonna lie, I just thought she was maybe disgruntled. That's not true. Y'all know I'm always on the employee side. Whatever the boss said they did, it's like you did it, a-hole, right? But if you guys don't know, the nanny I believe she was Kim's niece, right? She was Kim's niece. She watched the kids while she was with Kim Porter. Once Kim Porter passed away, Puffy hired her to be the nannies for his twin girls for continuity to have their family around, and she was a great nanny. The girl got pregnant. This was the weird part. The nanny got pregnant. The nanny claims that Diddy fired her because she got pregnant. Now, I know a lot of people didn't believe her back then. I did, just because I always believe the worker no matter what. Duh, comrade, we in this together, right? But at the time it seemed really weird. Like, yo, he fired me because I got pregnant. He literally said that her being pregnant was a bad role model for his twins. Even though Diddy be having babies out of wedlock and in wedlock, he be having just babies like you worried about somebody having babies out of wedlock as an example for your twins. But now that we know what we know about Diddy, right? This ain't the RICO charges, but let me just say this about the nanny thing, because it's weird, right? Now that we know what we know about Diddy and the way his favorite activity is trying to F another man's woman, that's his favorite activity. If you want, remember how Gina Hahn was like chasing after Diddy? I'm gonna have your baby. I love you. I love you. Baby, all you had to do is say that you had a boyfriend and you were engaged. Diddy would have wifed you so quick. It seems like from the outside looking in, that Diddy got off on like conquering other men's women, especially if there was a child involved. He wanted to come in and play daddy, this and that. It would make sense with Kim Porter's niece, because if you guys don't know, I did an exclusive interview with Gene Dill. He spilled so much tea. Yes, we're editing it. My editor's on vacation, so I'm just going to do what it do until it gets back. But one of the things that Gene let it be spilled was, when he was with Kim and Kim was alive, he said for a fact that, well, this is his past recollection recorded. It has not been independently verified. Diddy does maintain his innocence and says he's the most innocent person in the world, and he's going to claim his name. He's going to reclaim his name, his fortune, and everything that people took from him. He says it's all dumb lies. He does not know what's going on. His lawyer was like, of course my client's innocent, right? The streets are saying something different. Okay. I interviewed Gene Dill. He gave us past recollection, recorded what he recalls happening, the way he remembered it, has not been independently verified. But one of the tidbits he did let slip out is that Diddy was diabolical. And I remember asking him, I'll release this part of the interview tomorrow. I remember asking Gene, yo, how was Diddy diabolical? Like, what you mean? Like diggity dog or diabolical? He's like, yo, just diabolical. Like he did weird stuff. I'm like, what? He was like, Diddy was always keeping tabs on Kim Porter. Okay. You're going to have to watch the whole video tomorrow to find out how, but he was always keeping tabs on Kim Porter. And I was like, okay, but how far did he go to keep tabs? And Gene was like, yo, right? By the way, Uncle Gene got a book on Amazon. Make sure y'all go grab it. He's writing a second book, but the first book I might do a book club on. It's actually really good. So he was like, yo, he was so diabolical to keep tabs on Kim Porter. He was effing the babysitter, not because he liked her, not because he was into her. It was just because he wanted to know what Kim was up to. Now, I don't know if this is the same nanny that was suing. I'm going to have to touch base with Gene and be like, was it the same person? But my point of the matter is, Diddy likes to make sure he can touch every woman around him. Does it not seem that when that woman got pregnant, he got mad because it ruined his fantasy that he could have access to every woman? I'm not saying he was trying to sleep with that nanny, which was Kim Porter's rumored niece, right? If not niece, they were like play auntie niece. You know how it is when you Black, right? Your cousins, when you're like, yo, that's my cousin, they never related to you by blood. But if you're like, yo, that's my best friend, my MFR, that's your cousin, that's your blood relative. You know how it is, right? So the thing is, right? The nanny like sued him, like, yo, this was unfair firing, this and that. And on top of that, you wasn't paying me right, and you owe me money. Looking back at it, right? Because we overlook so much with Diddy, and people tried to play the nanny. It's a cash grab. And I remember a lot of people dragged me because I was like, I don't understand. You're a billionaire. You were only paying this nanny maybe $100,000 a year. If you think that that's a lot of money for a billionaire, you need to go watch that TikTok video when they show the grains of rice about how much $1 billion is. And it's like 32 sacks of rice. Well, like giant, like 20-pound sacks of rice piled on top of each other would be $1 billion, right? $100,000 is nothing. Nothing to a billionaire. That's like me saying that I can't afford to give somebody 1/10 of 1 penny right now. It's nothing to a billionaire. And I was like, it's so odd that this woman is the only link they have to their mother, the only link they really have to their mother's family. She's been with them since basically the beginning. She gets pregnant out the blue. You fire her for no reason. At least is what she's saying. And then you don't want to pay her back wages. You don't pay severance. Why are you doing this? And I remember thinking it was incredibly cheap and cold-hearted. But now that we know what we know about Diddy, yo, was this the nanny he was effing? Was he trying to F the nanny? Was he mad because when this woman got pregnant, it ruined his fantasy and he realized he would never have access to her? What exactly happened? Diddy is such a weirdo. Now everything he did is just up for grabs. Now he does maintain his innocence, but I believe what Cassie put in her statement. He says just because he settled with her doesn't mean he's guilty. But baby, yeah, I believe he's guilty. Okay, anyway, let's get into, oh, and also I'll put the clips of the Gene Deal stuff up tomorrow because he said some really, really juicy stuff. Thank you, everybody that harassed Uncle Gene and got him on the channel. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so, right? And he is such a good interview. I want him back. Like, he had to like literally fake his own death to get off, to get off of the Zoom with me because I was trying to keep him on for 6 hours. Like, so do you think Diddy likes eggs for breakfast or cornflakes? Let's get into his mind. He was like, girl, we got to go. Okay. Okay. Let's get into Diddy's RICO charges and the associated blind item because I did a little digging. Okay. First of all, let me read the blind item that I read that started me off on this path. I think it's important for you guys to hear it. All right. And then we're going to get into what I actually found. Okay. And I made a little PowerPoint presentation for everybody. If you guys like quick stuff, it's going to be a long live. Welcome to YouTube. Lives are very long. They have a lot of detail. But For now on, I'm going to start the next morning doing a live recap where I sum everything up in 8 minutes, just for y'all that just don't got time. All right. You're welcome. That's your MF and Christmas present. All right. Instead of like deleting y'all and blocking y'all and telling y'all to go to hell, I'm going to give y'all a Christmas present. Okay. All jokes aside, that is going to be the Christmas present. Okay. Anyway, all right, here's the related blind item. Okay. The unraveling of a fallen star. Okay. Um, You've heard the whispers, but brace yourself for the storm. The saga of Take That, Took That, a tale of ambition, deception, and downfall, is like nothing we've seen before. Once hailed as a visionary, he's now a man cornered by his own misdeeds. In a twist no one saw coming, his desperate attempts to settle with victims have become the least of his worries. We're going to talk about that, but I have heard through sources that Diddy is desperate to settle with the women that he has wronged. However, it's not because he wants to make light. He 100% maintains his innocence. It's because there's something bigger and bolder coming down the line, okay? Here's the lowdown. Oh, wait. I'm skipping. Believe it or not, Take That, Took That faces not just any charges, but potential RICO charges. Yes, you read that right. RICO, racketeering, blah, 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 blah. Here's the lowdown. His meteoric rise wasn't just a stroke of genius. He had the backing of heavy hitters from day one. We're not talking about mere sugar daddies, even though we know he had those sugar daddies, even the one that threw his coming out party. That's his words, not mine. Okay. These were big players who bet big on him when no one else did. But in his circle lurked figures he should have steered clear of. His escapades, especially with the notorious White Fingernail Brigade, caught the eye of federal and local officials. Now they're digging deep into everything he's ever said or done. And oh, the skeletons are coming out. Okay, let me just get through this and then we'll do the PowerPoint. Come on, y'all know what this is. Did y'all never watch Scooby-Doo? Y'all know what this is. Behind the facade of Bad Boy Records lies a startling truth. It was nothing but a front for the BMF, that is the Black Mafia family's money laundering schemes. And just like some said, the making of the band was merely a smokescreen for his quest for fame. The irony? He never expected his artists to succeed, much less that his empire, built over 20 years and worth billions, would crumble so spectacularly. The streets are buzzing with talk. His enemies, though silent in public, are singing like canaries in private, exposing the real